Hey everybody, it's And the Red, and welcome back to Shining Song Starnova. Right, so I've been thinking about which direction I wanted to take this, because this, as I assumed, this is where it, splits. This is where you decide which character is going to be the main focus of the romance. And it appears like Sami, you have to have done all the other 6. Oh, that doesn't sound right. You have to have gone to the other 6 routes before you can see hers. Which is fine, because I wasn't planning on going with Sami first to begin with. I like her character and all, it's just that, I wasn't really planning on going with Namu either, or probably Julie. Really, the ones that I had been most considering were Natsuki, Maria, and Mika. Natsuki's real fun and energetic. Mika's adorable and nerdy. And Maria, I don't know, yeah, it's hard to express, but I do like her character a lot, though. The kind of, bitter, somewhat washed up character who's just jaded with the world. She's a very interesting character. She's, despite her rather pessimistic outlook on life, she is probably one of the most level-headed of the characters. But what I think I'm gonna do, actually, is probably surprise, or maybe not surprise, I don't know, everyone watch this by going with Aki instead. Though she might seem like the last character I would have chosen. And honestly, I really wasn't considering going with her route first to begin with either. But the more I thought about it, the more interested I am in how her story ends up. Because, what we've seen during the little, depressing interlude where she quit her job, Mika had a crisis, Nemu had a confrontation with her stepmother, the accident, Julie getting surrounded by a bunch of dudes. Aki's was... There was some really, dark connotation, there that it hinted at. And I really am just curious to see where her story, where her character goes. Because, as much as I'm not a fan of the whole Oni-chan act, when she's not acting like that, she's a pretty fun, cool character, to be fair. So, yeah, I'm with Aki first. And I do say first because I am probably going to try and record the routes for all of them. I don't know exactly how much each character's route makes the story from here on out differ. So, what new scenes it adds, how many scenes are the same. But I think I am going to try just because I do like this game a lot. It's really well written, I like the characters, I do want to see where all of them go, so I'm going to end up playing anyway, so why not make videos of it? So yeah, but we're going to start with Aki. And here we go. I walked along the beach, unable to sleep. Tomorrow I would have to announce my decision to the girls. I wonder how they'll react. While rivalries between members of an idol group were common, I felt like the girls of Starnova had matured enough to accept whatever happened. Regardless who was a sinner, I wanted each of the girls to shine in their own way. I wondered if I had become naive. My job as producer was not necessarily to make my performers happy, but to bring in revenue for the company. Happy workers, however, are often more productive. Almost always more productive. And the nature of the beast was that one frequently could only be accomplished at the expense of the other. It depends on your business model. I was ignoring the fact that as we grew bigger, the nature of our jumps was going to have to change. One day, I'd have to choose between the happiness of the girls or the success of Starnova. When that day came, by coincidence, I met the Red Imp on the beach. Yeah? Producer-san? What are you doing out here? Isn't it past your bedtime? Nothing much. Just had a little trouble sleeping, that's all. Sounds like you? Something bothering you? I was just thinking of my new brilliant plan to defeat Quasar and become #1, that's all. Anyways, nothing's really wrong, so don't worry about me. When a woman says nothing's wrong, it usually means something's the matter. Hey, you're a persistent one, aren't you? Besides, I'm not one to keep my problems pinned up. If things bothering me, you would have already heard about it. Typically, yes, and that is something I do usually appreciate about her character, is Like I said, when she's not doing the whole, you know, little sister act. Medusa-san, this deal that's going down with Soma, you think it'll work out? It's hard to tell. Honestly, a lot of commercial success is mostly luck. At this stage, there's so many idol groups all trying to achieve notoriety that when one group does somehow score a breakaway hit, it's hard to determine what exactly differentiates them from any other group. Still, when you're starting small like us, getting signed off a record label is a positive step. I guess when you're at the bottom, the only place to go is up. Hopefully, yes. I'll not just get stepped on immediately. Yeah, it's about time you finally put me in charge of this gig. Don't worry, I'll lead everyone to the top, no matter the cost. How did John pick you as a center? I don't think she did. Okay, never mind. Isn't it obvious? I knew from day one that I was going to be the center. That's what I've been saying all this time, isn't it? So you assume based on just your own self-confidence. Basically. Again, honesty. They say in sports, if you can envision yourself victorious, then you're already halfway there. Well, maybe the idol industry isn't that much different. Because if I don't believe I can win, how about anyone else? That's actually a very positive attitude to have, one that I don't have. Like, and a lot of people don't have either. It's such a huge drawback, you know? You don't believe in yourself. How are you ever going to be motivated to do to try, you know? To try and achieve what you actually want to do in life. Because, really, no one holds you down more than yourself. It's figuratively speaking. There's obviously other situations where something else can be preventing you from going anywhere. But, it's, like I said, largely from a emotional, psychological standpoint. You are in many ways, you can be your biggest enemy, your hardest obstacle to overcome. Look here, you're not going to accomplish squat unless you believe from the bottom of your heart that you can do it. Call opponents arrogance if you want, but I've always believed I'm going to be the greatest idol of all time. It's not so much arrogant so long as you admit the possibility it may not happen, because some realism, it helps you to be humble. And if you're not arrogant enough to actually have a plan, you know, and not just say it's going to happen, but then not know how you're going to try to achieve it. It's not bonus arrogance. You push yourself a lot harder than any of the girls, to the point where you're willing to even harm yourself. Nobody's going to reach the heights that you seek without pushing beyond their limits. The point where everything breaks. Maybe you're the only one here willing to do that. That's why the center. Probably. Anyways, I'm not scared, alright? I'd rather go out early in a great big blaze and die slowly as a nobody. This is my decision, and as you're my producer, you better respect it and make me into a legend. Perhaps a normal person might have been disturbed by Aki's willingness to destroy herself in order to achieve her dreams. Self-destruction, yes, is typically a Thanatos complex. However, I shared some kind of understanding with Aki's devotion to idols. Indeed, talent alone wasn't enough to vault a performer to the top of the charts. That's true in basically any entertainment industry, yes. It took thousands of hours of practice, tears, blood, sacrifice. Countless idols left this industry yearly, their bodies and minds shattered before they could reach any sort of fame. And yet the allure of victory was so great, the romance of becoming immortalized as a pop icon so beautiful, and the potential riches so vast, that for every broken girl carried out in a stretcher, 3 more eagerly came in to replace her. Even I shared that dream of creating an idol for the ages, and I was willing to do anything to accomplish it. Alright, I'll stand by you, come fire or high water. You know, that saying doesn't have the same ring to it if you don't say come hell or high water. You better. I won't forgive you if you mess this up. I got it. Anyways, thanks to everyone's hard work who made it this far. Now go on and lead the team the rest of the way. The center of Starnova, Kashiwagi Aki. Yeah, of course we'll win. I'm the center after all. Aki laughed out into the vast ocean. Okay. You say so. I stood by the diminutive girl as she swore her vows of the ocean, laying out her plans to Poseidon himself. As a producer, I felt proud of her determination. However, in a distant corner of my heart, apprehension brewed. Despite how she acted, it was obvious she was still just a kid. Just what kind of a childhood did Aki have for her to give up her entire girlhood for a long-shot dream of becoming a pop sensation? Yeah, that's the part that's really worrying me. In a part of my conscience which I had long tucked away, I wondered if I was doing the right thing. Was it truly right to take this girl down this path? A path of commercial exploitation, dashed hopes, and almost certain disappointment? But I could not think those thoughts, for I too had my goals. If our goals were the same, there was no need to doubt myself. Some people wanted to live long, peaceful lives, while others wanted short lives filled with fame and fortune. It wasn't my place to decide what was best for others. With my concerns rationalized away, I returned to reality, and convinced that I had to make Aki into an entertainment superstar. We have reached the point of no return. Unless, of course, I reloaded the previous save file that I made right before the selection process to make it easier right next time. Okay. Remember to breathe, asshole. The next morning, we gathered into the staff tent at the beach. Good morning, everyone. The time to shoot our PVs finally come. This will be the first PV to debut the new center of Starnova. But before I announce the decision, I want to make some short remarks. First, Maria. You've served well as the team's general manager so far. No matter what happens, you'll always be the captain of Starnova. Please continue to look after your Kohai. Alright, leave it to me. Regardless of who's center, a small unit like Starnova still counts on each and every one of you. Remember, the center is not the only girl in the unit who must shine. Each one of you are blossoming new stars. Please work together as one to bring Starnova to our bright, destined stage. Without further ado, the center of Starnova will henceforth be Aki. Ah, congratulations. Nah, I thought it'd be something like that. It's unexpected, huh? Figures, as expected, it's gotta be Aki. Congratulations. I shall work hard to be a contender for next time. More head pats. So you're the center? It's not like I even want to be the center or anything. Okay. Now, let's all work hard to make this PV a huge success. Understood? The girls spoke amongst themselves, and the staff finished setting up the filming equipment. I'm glad the center selection is behind us now. The anxiety of not knowing who was going to be picked really got to my nerves. I guess so. And to think we once fought over who was going to be the center. No matter what happens from now on, let's all think of each other as teammates rather than rivals. Sasa-chan's got the idea. Even though the center battle's over, we've still got a long road ahead of us. We need to all work together as a team rather than tear each other down if we're really going to become top idols. What a change. To think this woman was nothing more than a jaded alcoholic just a few months back. Oi, I heard that shit, lolly. We've all worked hard to overcome our problems the past few months. Isn't it great that Maria is now a responsible team captain? She certainly has changed a lot. I remember the days when she would always report to work hungover like yesterday. She'd chain smoke between practice sessions and then start huffing and puffing as soon as we started dancing. Hey, shut up, you brats. Seriously, is that any way to treat your captain? Alright, One-sama. I'm sorry to interrupt you. One-sama certainly has turned over a new leaf, eh? I feel like you can rely on One-sama from now. One-sama, take her in the time too. Oh. You guys suck. Never mind. I was a moron to think we could ever be anything but rivals. The girls laughed amongst themselves, completely overshadowed by Natsuki, as Maria messed up her hair in frustration. Well, this is just the way Starnova is. If we're not strong enough to be able to voice our honest opinions, we would never become the strongest idol group. Seriously, I can't believe they're going to be stuck with being your captain. This is the worst. I'll return to the girls after speaking to the staff. Alright, we're ready to shoot now. So for the first scene, you girls will be in the waters playing with a beach ball. The camera will come in close to catch both underwater and regular shots, but just act like you're having a fun day at the beach, alright? Understood. Ignore the fact that they're staring at your butts. The girls ran into the water and laughed amongst themselves. They started to pass the beach ball around. If it wasn't for the crew buzzing around them, they would have looked identical to a group of friends out for a fun day at the beach. These are the Starnova girls of today. Once upon a time, they were seven broken, flawed stars at a no-name talent agency. They had no skills, no hope, and no motivation. Wow! What a fucking... That's quite the the brutal way of putting it, wouldn't you say? No hope and no motivation. However, they still decided to band together for one final shot at stardom. Despite their problems, they slowly formed bonds of friendship with their fellow unit members. Despite their previous failures, they practiced hard every day to rise to the shining stage of their dreams. Thanks to their hard work, their disappointing gray days gradually began to fade away. They somehow scraped together their first live, and from there, they slowly built up their popularity. Before they knew it, they were suddenly popular enough to have die-hard fans show up at any one of their events. They participated in the Idol Grand Prix and got lucky enough to even share the stage of the greatest idol group in the country. Now here they were, about to debut under a major record label with their first high-budget PV. Through their combined determination, these dying stars reignited their careers in a brilliant flash of light.
しかし、私たちの物語は始まったばかりである。その時の私たちは、アイドルとしての困難な道を理解していなかった。つまらない者たちは、待ち構えていた絶望にも気づかずに、いつか私たちは夢に見たあの輝くステージにたどり着く日が来るでしょう。
But at what cost?
しかし、そこにあるのは幸せなんかじゃなく、ただの底知れない暗闇である。
Well, that's comforting. We're just walking headlong into the abyss, aren't we? Hell and I, listen, here we come.
これはシャイニングソングスターノバの物語。私たちがエンターテインメント世界のトップアイドルとして活躍した物語である。
I sense happy days in store for us. Build up the dread, game. Just build up the dread. The day of the release of our CD. The girls exploded into the office first thing in the morning and marched towards me with insanity in their eyes. So, like usual. Producer! What is the meaning of this? You! What have you done? Okay. Oh, Dark One! Why thou you test this one so? What? Shit! Oh, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one. No! Fuck off! I want out! But, why thou'st you what do you like? Why dost thou test this one so? No, we're getting. Dude, fuck off. You better take responsibility for this. Okay, that's never something a guy wants to hear. Ever. I turned around in my office chair to face them, my hands folded together into my chin. Oh, good. He just looked like a fucking anime villain. Hello, girls. Happy to see you this morning. Everyone, we did it. I rose from my seat and hailed to the heavens, my arms outstretched on high. Yeah! What? It was under someone gave you the top of the Holocron charts. Huh. PV gained over 1 million views within a week. All DVDs sold out in 3 days. Net sale. And rising. Yahoo! Okay. Finish chapter 2. Aki chapter. Mother. Oh, good. That was the story of how Starnova struck its first major commercial home run. Looking back, 2017 was a great year. A bunch of down-and-out girls came together, gradually became an idol unit, debuted, and became the big names in the business. But now, 2018 had come. Indeed, we had just held our first year anniversary at Yoyogi Park. The larger venue only served to illustrate how much Starnova has changed since its inception. Today, the girls could be called pro idols in every sense of the term. However, that did not mean it was clear sailing from here. Rather, this was where the troubles could begin. One look at Starnova made it clear the stakes had gone way, way up. In most of the idol stories you see on television, it was always about a bunch of kids who decided to become idols. They began really weak and full of doubt, but through their perseverance, they gradually put on more lives, filled with elaborate dance sequences and energetic songs. And then, In the story's climax, they put on their big live with the girls finally debut as big name idols. They win, and presumably the girls go on to live happily ever after. Well, as a producer in this business, I can wholeheartedly say that's total unbelievable rubbish. Just say it's bullshit and get it over with, man. First of all, just because you had scored one big victory didn't mean anything. Winning the first victory only gave you a shot at playing the grand game. In fact, it was only after the first big victory you had that your idol story began at all. And who knew how things would unfold after that? Maybe you'll get into a huge scandal and be torn apart by the media and the fans and leave the business as an empty husk of your former self. Or maybe you'll be betrayed by your sponsors, end up being cheated out of all your royalties, and end up unemployed with no marketable skill aside from just looking cute, which you'll most likely lose in 2 more years' time. Worse, some idols even got tricked by their own producers. They ended up led on by a bunch of big promises only to find themselves replaced by the fresh young face as soon as they outgrew their use. I wasn't saying that I was sincerely planning to do such a thing. I'm just saying there was a whole lot more that could happen to an idol after what looked like the television happy end. Life doesn't have anything of the sort. It merely has an end. You grow old and finally pass away. Hi Maria, when did you become the fucking narrator of this game? Until that point, any inconceivable good or bad thing could happen to you. So where am I going with this long diatribe, you wonder? Well, I'm just saying. Just because things have been going well so far didn't mean our good luck was going to continue. As the producer of Starnova, I had to be ever vigilant. Just one tiny mistake could mean the ruination of everything we've worked so hard to create. Ellipses. But first things first. You're probably wondering just where I was. Behold! My brand new luxury apartment. It looks boring. I've never been a fan of the sleek, modern look. It's just kind of dull. It just doesn't meet my personal taste from an aesthetic perspective. It's just kind of meh. Thanks to the enormous amount of money that Starnova was now moving for Shining Productions and Sony Music, my pay had gone up considerably since I started last year. Now you could say that I was a hotshot idol producer, managing 7 of the industry's very best, and, at least in my subjective opinion. And sitting next to me was the crown jewel Starnova, a hardworking, but still kind of a shit lolly center. You seem pretty deep in your illusions of grandeur there, Oni-chan. You're still coming here every night. Well, like you can talk, considering that you drive me here from the office every night. He reverted back to her stupid kid persona. Oni-chan just can't sleep without having Izaki-chan near, can he? Stop. You're seriously creeping me out. Yes. Look, this wasn't what it looked like. While the most observers that may look like a rising producer like myself had used his newfound power and wealth to take advantage of this teenage idol, I had absolutely no interest in twisting Aki into my personal plaything. Unreliable producers who played their own sexual gratification, placed their own sexual gratification before the interests of their unit were true to the scum of the earth. And moreover, I knew that Aki was far from the naive, starry-eyed idol that would be taken advantage of like that. She'd kill you. Most likely, it would be myself who would be in danger in such a black relationship. Regardless, seeing how Aki was adamant about spending every evening in my apartment, regardless of whether I invited her or not, I had no choice but to smuggle her in and out in my private car to avoid detection. Question being though, why? If the paparazzi were to catch a photograph of her walking into my apartment after hours, then no doubt such a scandalous expose would spell certain doom for Starnova. Oi, why are you so dead set on coming here every night anyways? It could be dangerous, you know. What if your producer just decided to take advantage of you? There's no way a small girl like you would be able to defend herself against a man, not to mention he could use his position to silence you afterwards. So you're saying you do something like that? Well... Okay, the answer immediately should be no. God... Anyways, I'm saying this for your sake. You really should be careful. Well, I figured you wouldn't do anything to me. I don't know whether I should be glad or offended to hear that. This mean Aki viewed me as such her before man that I didn't even register as a threat anymore? Why would you ever be wanted? Why would you ever be Okay, I'm fucking tripping on my own words here. Why would you ever want to be registered as a threat to begin with? Okay? No! Fuck off! Besides, it was you that declined, you know. Pardon me, what happened now? Hey, I told you to forget about the incident. What incident? I feel I have been denied critical, need to know information. Ah, really? Whatever. I guess it's all in the past now. Anyway, what's on television? If we want to leave you alone, then put on some dramas for me. You... Indeed, a certain incident had occurred 3 months prior, shortly after the holiday break when I first moved into this apartment. That was the first dangerous event between Aki and myself. Since then, we had arrived at an unstable truce of some sort, precisely the sort of uneasy truce like that one that existed between Seoul and Pyongyang. But seriously, doing something like that, it really was unbelievable. Oh boy! But I'm going to leave this at the next episode. Curious as I am, it's already run on a little bit longer than I wanted the episode to, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode.